Hey, what's up hikers? Bigfoot here. Today I start my JMT through hike and I wanted to talk about some details about my hike. Most importantly, what's going on with this fire that is heading towards Yosemite. Is it affecting my through hike? Are there sections of the JMT that are closed? As well as a few other details about my through hike of the John Muir Trail. So there's been a fire that's been getting closer to Yosemite for the last couple weeks. I have been keeping touch with Yosemite National Park and talking with the rangers about what's going on. And thankfully and luckily, there is nothing that's going to impact my through hike as of the last time that I checked, which was on Thursday, the 7th of September. So just a few days before my actual start. Now, what is happening is the fire is around the Mariposa area of the trail, and basically what is going to affect me is the smoke. There is a lot of smoke that is going through Yosemite National Park, and although there is not any sections of the trail, of the John Muir Trail, that is closed and impacting my hike, but there is a very likely chance that I'll be going through some areas that could be heavy in smoke. Luckily, there's nothing that the fire is doing to impact my actual JMT through hike. I just got to be able to make sure that I'm managing the smoke and keep a touch point of the fire and make sure that it is not getting any closer to the trail. But I'll of course get an update when I get into Yosemite, which is today. I started my through hike, and I'll know more information and I'll report back to you guys when I get an opportunity and have cell phone coverage. Now the next topic is gear that I actually forgot to mention in my gear video. They are actually a part of my overall base weight. I had a couple of the items in my hip pocket and I just forgot about them being in there, and I totally spaced on my actual shoes that I'm bringing on the trail. So starting off with my shoes, I know that I was talking about bringing the Ultras 3.5s. Haven't received those yet, and I actually have a spare pair of my New Balance Fresh Foam Heroes that I wore on the Appalachian Trail the first 1,730 or so miles. They worked and performed very, very well for me. I love these shoes. They just stopped making them. But I have an extra pair, and I saved them for a rainy day. I'll be wearing these on my JMT through hike, so that will be my footwear. Next thing is Body Glide. I cannot live without this on the trail. I'm bringing a bigger stick than I did on the Spear Hiking Trail because I'm going to be on the John Muir Trail a lot longer, and I had the issues with chafing underneath my armpits, and I just want to make sure I have enough to get all of the areas, including those armpits. And the last thing is my knife. I'm bringing the same knife that I brought with me on my Spear Hiking Trail, which is the SOG Ultra CTI ultralight knife. It weighs 1.2 ounces, and it's a 2.5 inch blade, which is pretty sweet, and really liked it, so I'll continue to use this on the trail as well. Now, I've had lots of questions about why I flew into Reno instead of flying into a different airport, and really what it comes down to is when I did my research, the area on the PCT website that talks about traveling to the JMT recommended going out of Reno as one of the easier areas to fly into. Now I'm learning that Reno isn't as easy to get to Yosemite as some of the other areas that you can fly into. Now I will do a video about this after the JMT when I get more educated on the trail so that I can give that information back to you guys. Now, as far as transportation, how I'm actually getting to Yosemite from Reno, there are a couple different options with shuttles on what you can do, and I actually am not going to have to do that. I have a trail angel that's actually going to pick me up in Reno, so I'm really, really lucky, and he is actually going to pick me up and drive me all the way to Yosemite. There are some areas of Yosemite that are closed, some of the roads, due to the fire. Now luckily, the road that I need to take to get into Yosemite is not one of the roads that are closed from the fire. It's 120, and I can get to 120 from Reno and 120 all the way to Yosemite to be able to start my thru hike out of Happy Isles. Now, I also plan on doing a full video of all the transportation options that you have to get to Yosemite or wherever your terminus is from each airport after I get done with the JMT, and kind of, again, get more education on that so I can share that back with you guys. Now, as for the end of my hike, how I'm getting back up to Reno, I've actually had offers from 2 different people to pick me up and bring me back up to Reno, so I'm really, really fortunate. So I'll end up getting a ride from one of those 2 folks, and in the event that that didn't happen though, my plan was to hitch a ride up to Mammoth Lakes, and I was going to rent a car from Mammoth Lakes and then drive up to Reno or wherever else that I want to go, depending on how much time that I have left before I have to catch my flight, which my flight leaves out of Reno on Monday morning. Now, in terms of resupply, I ended up sending my package to VVR, Vermilion Valley Resort. And the reason why I sent it there is just because there are places that start to close their doors in the middle of September to later September, and VVR was in a good area of when I anticipate needing my next resupply. I'm only doing 1 resupply. VVR heading southbound is somewhere in the mid-80s in mileage. So the food that I start with will need to get me through the first 80-something miles, which I anticipate it being about 6 days. And then I have my food coming to VVR that will last me through the rest of the thru hike. Now, I did mention in a video about the Muir Trail Ranch and me not sending my package there because they were closing in mid-September. I actually got some information from another thru hiker that emailed me that you actually can pick up your food this year from Muir Trail Ranch all the way till September 27th. So I could have sent it to the Muir Trail Ranch, but I believe the cost to send it there was a little bit more than VVR. Now, for resupplying, just like the other topics I talked about earlier, I will do a full video just dedicated to resupplying on the John Muir Trail after my thru hike, once I get more information on that topic as well, so I can share that for you guys. And then lastly, what are kind of my daily plans as I head southbound from Yosemite all the way to Mount Whitney? So I'm starting today, Sunday, the 10th of September, and I have a permit to be able to hike up Half Dome. Now, because I am going out of Happy Isles, I'm required to stay at Little Yosemite Valley campsite, which is under 5 miles into the hike. I think it's somewhere right around 4.5 miles. So what I'll be doing is starting my thru hike in the morning, try to get on the trail sometime by 7 or 8 o'clock. I'll hike up to Little Yosemite Valley. I'll set up my base camp. So there's actually bear canisters there so I can ditch a lot of my food. I'll set up my tent and a few other things. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a day hike from there to Clouds Rest. And Clouds Rest is, I think it's somewhere right around 8 miles or so from Little Yosemite Valley, but it's probably the best views in all of Yosemite. That's what I've been told. So I'm going to head up to Clouds Rest for a day hike, and then after Clouds Rest, I will backtrack back down, get back on the John Muir Trail, and on my way back to Little Yosemite Valley, I will then go and do Half Dome in the late afternoon to early evening. Now, I'm hoping that many of the folks that are climbing up Half Dome have already since done that, since I'm going later in the afternoon or early evening, so that I don't have as many people that I have to deal with going up Half Dome. And then, of course, after Half Dome, I'll go back to Little Yosemite Valley and spend night 1 in Little Yosemite Valley. Now, as for the rest of the John Muir Trail, I really am keeping an open itinerary. I don't want to have to be at a certain place at a certain time. So if there's just an outstanding campsite that I want to stay at and end a few miles early on the day, I'm going to do that. I do plan on being at VVR on Friday. So my goal is to get to VVR on Friday. I'm going to stay at VVR that night, have an opportunity to be able to take a shower, sleep in a bunk bed, whatever they have there, and just do my thing. And then I will start out of VVR Saturday morning. Now my targeted plan is to be done with the John Muir Trail by Friday the 22nd. And the reason why I want to be done by Friday the 22nd is in the event that something happens, I have enough time to be able to get off the trail and get back up to Reno before I leave at noon on Monday. So if I target Friday, that gives me an extra couple of days. So in the event that something does happen and I don't get off the trail till Saturday, I still have enough time. Now my dead time to be off the John Muir Trail is Saturday evening. If I did hike till Saturday evening, I'd have enough time to be able to get to Lone Pine, stay the night, and then have all day Sunday to be able to get back up to Reno. Now, as I have been told, I am not going to probably have reliable cell phone service during my entire thru hike of the John Muir Trail, so I'm not expecting to be able to upload any videos. I have, however, pre-recorded videos of topics that I feel are valuable about my John Muir Trail and some gear things that I'll be dropping here in the next couple weeks. But I'll most likely be dropping my daily vlogs once I get back off the trail and have reliable cell phone service. Now, having said that, I should have moments in time that I'll be able to post pictures and maybe even some small videos. I will be doing this on my Instagram and Facebook page, so make sure that you check those out. Both of them are Follow Bigfoot, just like everything else. Now, if you haven't had a chance to check out my Patreon site, make sure you do that. I have reward levels where you can actually follow me on my entire thru hike of the John Muir Trail or all of my upcoming adventures. In addition to that, I will invite you to a private Facebook page where I'll be sharing live trail feeds and also doing live Q&A with folks when I do have that reliable cell phone service. So if you become a member of my Patreon community while I'm on the trail, I have Miss Bigfoot that's managing that for me so that she can get you connected so that you don't miss out on any of those cool things that we're going to be doing. So that wraps up, guys. Now I will be taking just a ton of videos and photos on the trail. So make sure that you check out my Instagram and Facebook pages so that you can kind of track me and follow me until I get off the trail and post my daily vlogs. Yes, I will still be doing daily vlogs and post those each day after I get off the trail, which will probably be 13 or 14 days worth of daily vlogs. Thanks so much, guys. Stay tuned for a ton of JMT sightings. And of course, remember to always follow Bigfoot.